Are you just filming stuff, or are you actually helping your clients connect with their audience? Are you just delivering clips, or are you making someone's brand feel like something big? You got to really think about how you're doing this. Over the past couple of years, I've grown my video agency from zero to over $100,000 a year. And one of the biggest things that allowed me to tip over that $100,000 a year was the way I was pricing things. You know, Hourly rates feel safe, but they honestly trap you. So, I mean, when I first started this, I was, as most of us do, I was charging by the hour because at the end of the day, I was like, cool, this is what I'm here for. I'm only here for a couple hours. Great. And don't get me wrong, there's still a handful of shoots that I do justify charging hourly for, but it's all about how you package it into everything. So, if hourly just felt simple, I'll just charge $50 an hour or whatever seems fair, no confusion, no stress. But here's the truth with that: hourly rates don't protect you. They honestly limit you because the better you get, the faster you work. So now you're getting paid less for being more efficient, and the math just doesn't math. Because it's like, you know, obviously early on in your career, and it might take you a little bit longer to set up your lights or to shoot a project, or you know I know for myself, when I first started shooting events, like, I had to be there the entire time to make sure I got enough footage to put together a great video. But nowadays I can show up to an event, film for an hour, give or take the schedule of events, and just knock out a recap. So, why should I be punished for that when they're still getting the same product at the end of it? So, hourly rates honestly will really pigeonhole you into kind of like how you can grow and scale your company. What I eventually realized is people aren't paying for your time, they're paying for the result, a feeling, or a transformation. So just keep that in mind when you're building out your packages. Because the moment that honestly shifted everything was when I was working with a real estate agency, and I gave them a quote for a recap and some interviews of their people. And I was being fair, reasonable, and honestly even gave them a little bit of a discount because I genuinely enjoyed working with this group of people. And the woman I was working with paused after I told her the price, and she was like, "How about this?" And she came back to me with a number twice of what I actually asked for. And I sat there and I was like, I just, why are, you're not trying to talk me down on price. You're just like, here, how about more? And it was honestly crazy. Like, I remember calling a buddy of mine and I was like, I need to raise my prices. And that was the first time that I realized the value of what I bring to the table. It isn't based on how long I work. It's based on what the work does for the client. And once I realized that, that changed the game for me. This is why packages win, and honestly the clients love them too, because clients don't want to feel like they're watching a clock. They want to know what they're getting. Like, if you're like, okay, here's $150 for an hour, and there's like, oh shit, okay, we got to try to cram everything in an hour. Like, it kind of makes it a weird like dichotomy in a way of like how your shoots run. Like, it feels like everyone's rushed, or they can't breathe, or people start stumbling when they're shooting videos and you're trying to interview them and you're like, dude, come on, we got 10 more minutes of this. And you're always running late. Like, that's the one thing I've always learned too, is like, I'm always like, okay, I told you I'll be here for 4 hours, but I guess I could do 5.5. Like, let's just get this project done. And then I'm shooting myself in the foot, losing an hour and a half worth of pay. And this is why I now build my services around packages, clear deliverables, clear timelines, and a clear result of what this is going to do for them. And it honestly removes the confusion and makes the sale a lot easier, and it positions you more as a pro and not a camera guy that's just working on a clock. So, and honestly, here's what packages do for you. They anchor you to the result and not a rate. They make you more consistent with your pricing, and they help give clients a clear choice and help weed out the bargain shoppers. And honestly, most importantly, they help you more without burning out in your career. Because I've noticed too, like when I can package my content and everything that I'm doing into one thing, it allows me to charge higher, which allows me to not have to take as many shoots. So here's 3 levels of building a strong offer for your clients. First and foremost, over time, like I've built out a simple structure that can work for almost any creative services. But again, this is all going to be tailored towards video specifically. First and foremost, your entry level package. This is for the person who wants just a taste of your work, quick turnaround, tight scope, and maybe 1 to 2 pieces of deliverables. Think about a single real estate tour, 1 social media edit, and a highlight reel. Like nothing too crazy. This is just something you could go knock out in a couple hours. Next is going to be like your core package or your standard package. This will be your bread and butter of what you do. This is what you're going to be trying to sell the most of. So this is a full project with a clear scope, a clear process, and it's very, very repeatable. For this, think about like branded content, talking head videos, a series of reels, an event recap with full cut downs. Like really just think about like a full service package. And lastly, this is your premium package. This would be for your best case scenario clients. They trust you. They want everything done right. For this, think about like a multi-video series, retainer relationships, and a monthly content plan. So like you want to build this out to where it's like, okay, cool. You know, every single month on the second Tuesday, you're going to go sit down with them and film content. And you're going to plan out stuff for them and like really just kind of join them as a creative partner in a sense. So how do you price things is like another question that I get. And because honestly, my prices change for every single project that I do. Like I build packages around the clients because one, it feels more customized to them, and two, allows me to feel like I'm pricing fairly for what I'm delivering. And trust me, I get it. The money talk is always the most awkward when it comes into sitting down with clients. But when you have a clear, structured, like pricing idea of like how you're going to go into it, you're going to feel more confident, and it's going to make that conversation a lot less awkward. So I guess going over all this, like here's what has worked for me in the past. First and foremost, start with your outcome and not your hours. So be like, okay, what we're going to do for you is X, Y, and Z. We're going to give you 2 videos and help you with a monthly content calendar, and we're going to set up some ads. Like that's kind of that basis of it. Obviously, if you're kind of in the position where I'm at now with my career, is I'm creating content specifically for ads that's going to generate leads, and I'm kind of help building out all that structure for people. So I'm more focused right now on like, okay, hey, this is how we're going to build leads for you, or how we're going to bring leads in for you. So just figure out whatever the outcome is. Like, okay, we're going to generate 4 pieces of content for you with this. Like, start off with that. Don't hit them with the price. One thing that I think that like early stage videographers get caught up on is watching YouTube videos or looking in different markets and being like, oh crap, this guy just charged $1,500 for this project. Let me charge that. Not understanding or knowing that that person's in LA where their product is valued a lot more out there. And so they're coming into smaller markets and they're like, okay, let me charge that. And it's like, it's not going to convert that well because it's harder to get people. I mean, specifically talking for me in Wichita, like, you know, when I was out in LA, I could get $1,500 for a simple run and gun music video. I come here and give that number and they're just like, no. How about $200? And it kind of translates even within like the corporate world. Like a lot of the companies out here can't afford to pay $1,000 a month for a set amount of reels, versus in LA they'll pay $1,000 for a day of filming and then have you come back in a week. Like it's one of those things like you have to really understand the market that you're in and how to price it. So do your research, look around, talk to the other videographers. I know me personally, I don't care. If you tell me a scope of work that you're going to be doing for a client, I'll honestly price it for you and be like, cool, this is how much I would charge to do this. Now charge based on your skills or however you want to do it. I mean, hell, even take my price and run with it. Do as you need to do. And another thing with all this being said, you have to answer their questions with confidence and clarity. Like, you have to be clear with what the client gets, why it matters to them, and how it helps them. Like, you need to sell from a place of service and not from insecurity, because as soon as they're like, oh, hey, this guy's kind of like teetering, that's when they're going to start chewing you down and questioning you, and then you're going to end up doing the shoot for free. And like I said, again, my rates aren't set in stone. I build my packages around the specific client. Not every project is a one size fits all. Some clients need more hands on creative direction, and others just need it clean, repeatable, and just easy for them to do. Like, I guess for instance, I have two different talking head type of content clients that I work with every single month. And one of them, we could just do a setup like this and just knock out all the content for the month. Another one, he doesn't like to have the same background for every single one. So we're moving locations, we're driving different places, and it's taking more time to do it. So yes, they might both get 25 pieces of content for the month, but the one that we're having to do more work for has to pay more. You know? Like, it's not like one size fits all for the pricing of the packages, you know? So I guess to wrap this up, take your hourly rate and just throw it out. You don't need it. Fuck your hourly rate. Look at all the kind of projects that you want to be doing and start shaping them into clear value-based packages. You know, give each one of them a name, a purpose, and a reason to exist. You can have your gold, silver, basic, whatever the case is. But, you know, that's not how I build my company personally. Like, it's all package based on whatever the client specifically needs, you know. I'll build out an ABC tier for them once we get to that point. But I'm not just going to have on my website an ABC tiered. Like, you know, for our wedding company, we do have something very similar to that, just because, you know, it's very repeatable. But with a service based agency, like, it's very hard to be like, okay, cool, this roofer gets the same rates as this person that just needs simple talking heads, because, you know, there's so many different variables. So again, just think about each specific client that you're trying to work with and build it out for them. But if you are a videographer that is trying to niche down into roofers, create packages that make sense just for that one niche. I guess that's another thing I could start off this whole video with, is like, you know, what type of videographer are you? Are you trying to just niche down into one lane? Or are you trying to be a broad catch-all type of person because you're not in a market where it makes sense to niche down yet? If you're watching this, I appreciate you for sticking around and listening to me to babble. Hopefully you gained something from this. But yeah, catch y'all.